Now, good morning from the garden. If you're watching us on your commute to work, hi, I hope the bus isn't too hot. For everyone else, remember, if you to leave the house, you can stream us live on our website. Do check it out, but don't watch us while you're driving, whatever you do.
Still to come, he's taking on the role of Scar in Disney's The Lion King. In Dublin, actor Brian Gilligan is going to be here shortly.
Plus, broadcaster Laura Fox will be stopping by to chat Instastar Awards and Ireland's Fittest family.
And we've got bacon and kimchi fried rice on the menu this morning. That's coming up after 9.
That sounds healthy and not healthy all at the same time.
Yeah, a lot to be said for fried rice.
Kat, what are you up to?
Well, good morning. We're getting a lesson in flower pressing this morning from Joanna from Shug Botanicals. What are you going to be showing us later?
So I'm so excited. I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide into the art of flower pressing.
Now, they are absolutely gorgeous, so I'm looking forward to seeing this all unfold. Thank you so much, Joanna. Now, Deric is in Leopardstown this morning. Any horses around yet, Deric?
Well, we're looking for them, Kat. Yeah, it looks like the weather is holding fine for a great weekend of horse racing action. Of course, the feature race tomorrow is the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes. All eyes really on Aidan O'Brien's August Rodan. Jane, what are his chances?
Great chance, obviously, and we're good firm in places this morning, so ground to suit.
I mean, he bounced back from that defeat at the Guineas to win the Epsom Derby.
He did, absolutely. But there's some great English challengers coming over. We've got King of Steel, who's going to really put it down to him, I would imagine, and Nashua from John Gosden's Yard as well. So it's a real competitive open race.
A real top class field. All right, hope she's going to give me a couple of tips later on. But for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks
going to give me
for
some
that,
tips,
Deric.
right?
Now let's go over to the Virgin Media News Hub. Here's Hannah Murphy.
Thanks, Elaine, and good morning. Forecasters say temperatures could break all September records today. A high temperature alert remains in place for the entire country, with a warning that there could be highs of almost 30 degrees in parts of the Midlands. The previous September record is 29.1 degrees. Met Éireann is warning of the potential for heat stress and says temperatures will not drop below 15 degrees at any time tonight. A heat wave will likely be confirmed today, though forecasters say it will be cooler over the weekend.
South Midlands, North Munster, areas like Tipperary or even North Cork potentially. Now, it would be very isolated, of course, but these areas will definitely see high 20s. Temperatures over the weekend will still be quite good in the low to mid 20s, and then we will be seeing much more typical temperatures on the way for next week as a cold front moves down Sunday night into Monday.
The Department of Foreign Affairs says it's providing consular assistance after 2 Irish tourists were killed in a crash in Rome. The couple were hit by a car to the south of the city while they were crossing a busy road near a campsite. The man and woman, who were understood to be aged in their late 50s and early 60s, were pronounced dead at the scene. Local media says that stretch of road is one of the most dangerous in the Italian capital. There are plans to improve community safety in Dublin's North Inner City following a spate of attacks there over the summer. The Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, will unveil a local community safety plan today, bringing businesses, local groups and Gardaí together in order to improve areas impacted by drugs and antisocial behaviour. Similar initiatives had previously been launched in counties Longford and Waterford. New data shows a rise in the amount of fraud money being washed through Irish bank accounts. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through Money Mule accounts in the first half of the year, a rise of almost 50% from last year. Most of the accounts are owned by young people.
Money muling is on the rise. Instances where people allow their accounts to be used to launder cash with the promise of making a quick buck. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through such accounts in the first 6 months of this year, a rise of almost 50% on last year. Some 2,600 Money Mule accounts were identified by Irish banks, with the average amount now in the region of €10,000, more than double last year's average. Criminals frequently target young adults, usually recruiting them through social media ads and messages. But according to FraudSmart, they also approach young people in person, outside schools, colleges or sports clubs. The majority of account holders are aged between 18 and 24, with some as young as 15. The advice is to be careful of unsolicited easy money schemes and to carefully research work from home opportunities. Aubrey Robinson, Virgin Media News.
A jury has found a former Donald Trump advisor guilty of contempt of Congress for refusing to cooperate with an investigation into the January 6th attack on the US Capitol. The verdict found Peter Navarro guilty of failing to turn over documents to the January 6th committee and failing to appear for testimony. Sentencing won't take place until January, but it's expected he'll have to spend time behind bars if the decision stands. Widespread flooding in central Greece has left at least 6 people dead, 6 others missing and dozens more trapped. Divers and water rescue teams have been deployed as floodwaters rose to more than 2 metres in places. Severe rainstorms have turned streams into raging torrents, bursting dams, washing away roads and bridges and hurling cars into the sea. Residents in some villages took refuge on the roof of their homes to escape the floodwaters. Around 60 people were airlifted to safety after spending a night on their roof without food or water. And an American caver who is stuck more than 1,000 metres below the ground in Turkey says he's lucky to be alive. Mark Dickey fell ill while exploring a cave in Turkey's Taurus Mountains at the weekend. He suffered internal bleeding that has since been stabilised, but he's unable to make his way back to the surface. Experts from around the world have come together for an operation to try and free him.
I look forward to working with everyone to safely get myself out with their assistance. As you can see, I'm up, I'm alert, I'm talking, but I'm not healed on the inside yet, so I'm going to need a lot of help to get out of here.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Yes, Ger, poor Tommy Martin there, sweltering over in France, God love him. Anyway, we're live down here at Leopardstown Racecourse this morning ahead of the Irish Champions Festival. We're going to be previewing all that racing action at 8:45 for all you horse lovers out there. So do hang with us for that, any fans of the festival. Now, we're getting past 8 o'clock here together. Weather-wise, a glorious start down here in South County Dublin. Not a mist and fog trailing around, but certainly that morning sunshine is going to help burn it off pretty lively now as we edge our way into your Friday morning. Dry, calm and settled as we work our way into the weekend in that light southerly or variable airflow. Now, as you heard there in the news, all eyes really on those temperatures out there today. One of the hottest days of the year potentially on the record, and in fact a potential record breaker for September. Values up to around 24 to 28, a possibility of 29, even 30 degrees through parts of the Midlands. High UV index, high risk of sunburn, high risk of heat stress as well, so keep the water on board out there today. Now, right across into tonight, again another heavy, muggy and humid night in store, dry and clear, with once again some passing mist and some trailing fog to take our way into your Saturday morning, with overnight lows that are no lower than around 13 to 18 degrees. So that's how it's shaping up for now from a sweltering Leopardstown here in South County Dublin. We'll be back again live at 8:35.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which leads with the headline, Donoghue says €6.4 billion budget on track. Plans to deliver a budget package of about €6.4 billion will proceed, even if there is more volatility in Ireland's tax receipts this year, Minister for Public Expenditure Paschal Donoghue has said.
Staying with tax, thousands of vacant homes to be hit with a new property tax. That's the front page of the Irish Independent. Up to 60,000 vacant homes are going to be subject to a new tax from the start of November, as the government tries to make more properties available for sale or for rent.
The Examiner leads with Fine Gael hopes to elect senators as TDs step down. Fine Gael is reportedly pinning its hopes on electing senators to the Dáil to make up for the loss of up to 9 sitting TDs before the next general election.
On to the tabloids, and the Daily Mail leads with bosses at RTE urged take 10% pay cut. The paper details how RTE has been urged to cut the salaries of senior executives by 10%, as the broadcaster is in need of a €55 million bailout.
School kids 8 told to called teacher they. That's on the front page of the Mirror. The paper claims that third-class pupils in a Dublin Educate Together were given the instruction last week.
The Star leads with the details of the inquest into the death of 18-year-old Julie Crowe from County Meath, who suffered an horrific ordeal while on holiday in Greece.
And the Herald leads, Gardaí close in on Eddie Hutch murder suspect. According to the paper, a file on the gangland murder of the brother of crime boss Jerry the Monk Hutch will be sent to the DPP in the next few weeks, Gardaí have confirmed.
Now, a couple of texts in on this fine weather. We're hearing from Charlotte. She says, can't stand all this heat. Irish skin was not built for anything close to nice weather. Would much rather be curled up inside with a good book while some good old-fashioned Irish rain pours outside. It's funny, it reminds me of Dara. He's gone to Bord Gais for the Rugby World Cup and he's been so frightened of the heat. Like, the amount of sunscreen in this bag, all these caps, white sheets, everything. Like, he is so scared. But got to embrace it. Terry says, so nice to see you out enjoying the sun instead of boiling to death in that studio.
Yeah, my sister's so white, she's blue, and she's over in Bordeaux as well. I'd say she is hating every second.
Because it's like 30 degrees
And her husband's Mauritian, so he's grand. It doesn't bother him the slightest. So, like, she's just sweltering. Oh, no, this is awful. But sure, it's as bad here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous. Like, sitting here watching the mist burn off and the sun comes out. It's gorgeous.
Lou,
wanted to ask you about something, by the way,
yes,
if I
dear.
can. I was reading in the, I can't remember which paper it was, but there's a big picture of you, and it says that you are victim again of one of those scams where your name and image has been lifted as the front of some product to which you have no connection.
Do you know what? Actually, I got 2 more last night. It's been happening for years. It's been happening to me for years. I remember, but the first time it happened was about 10 years ago, a Facebook scam. And this is one of the latest
So
ones.
that's fake now. That's
And
not
they're
fake.
grabbing
That's
your
not
image.
actually you.
See, if you look at that now, that's a fake account, a verified, it looks like a verified Elaine Crowley account. It is not me. The pictures are me, lifted from my Instagram account and lifted from the internet. So basically, hoodwinking people into believe that that I'm flogging these keto gummies to weight loss pills. But this is weight loss pills, right? And it's clickbait. People go in and they're getting scammed. Last month, it was cryptocurrency, and I was getting messages, and some quite irate messages from people saying, 200, 300, 400 euros
how
been
can you put
taken
your
out
name
of my
to this?
account. How can you put your name to this? And I'm like, I haven't put my name to this. I haven't put my name to anything like that. And the first time it happened 10 years ago, and I remember being blue in the face, and I had to track down. I got no luck with Facebook at the time. Now it's Meta, and I actually tracked down the company. I think it was in Belize. It took me that long to get to the source of it, and I threatened them with legal action, and they stopped using my image.
Because presumably it's totally illegal.
Completely. But I mean, there is no person I can call.
Yeah,
you
get
report
this
as
down.
spam, you report as spam, you report as fraud, and one gets taken down, and then another one pops up, possibly from the same company.
Yeah.
But at this point, and look, even now, literally in the past couple of minutes, I'm after getting a message onto my phone from a woman called Susan, and I'm getting them into my inbox left, right, and centre over the past month. And I haven't had the easiest couple of months, so having this on top of everything is not the nicest. Are the keto gummies legit? You look amazing. Sounds too good to be true. It is too good to be true.
And do you know what?
It's absolutely ridiculous. Do not buy anything like that on Facebook.
No.
Like, think twice, because literally, if I'm ever doing anything about that, I will be very honest about it. But don't be scammed. Don't buy rubbish on Facebook. And whatever about anything else, the spelling was shocking and the grammar was worse.
Look for the signs and don't click any foreign links that you see. Like,
I can speak English properly normally. So anyway, sorry for the rant, but please do not, if you see anything with my image out there, it's stupid scams, just don't go near it, and be careful, lads out there. It's a minefield. Right, rant over. We'll talk about nice things now. Hakuna Matata, coming up, Disney's The Lion King. The musical is returning to Dublin this month. We'll be chatting to the Irishman, bringing the villain Scar to the stage. That's after this short break.
You're welcome back to Ireland AM. The award-winning musical The Lion King returns to Dublin's Bord Gais Energy Theatre later this month.
It'll run from the 28th of September to the 11th of November, and actor Brian Gilligan is taking on the role of the evil Scar. I was going to say boo, but it's the best role in the entire musical. You lucky duck, Brian. How did you get it?
Auditioned for it and was very, very fortunate and very lucky to be offered it, and here I am. It's
and
great.
had you seen it before? Obviously, you've seen the cartoon, The Lion King.
Yeah, I'd seen the movie and I'd seen the musical when I was 13 years old with my brother and my mum. It was one of the first trips that we'd ever taken to London. I think the other musical that we saw with The Lion King was Chicago. So,
wow,
two very different but wonderful musicals within the same weekend, and it was quite a breathtaking experience for
And an amazing live performance. I mean, the combination of the puppetry and the costuming and everything, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it's great. it's a spectacle that's brought to life by so many wonderful cast members and by crew and by all of the people involved in putting it together. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. When you look at the difficulties, and I know some have worked, some haven't, when you're trying to translate particularly Disney classics on from the screen to the stage, it doesn't quite work out well, but arguably the theatre production is way more powerful and impactful than the actual original. What is it like being part of something like that, something so iconic?
It's great. I think it's just because that's the experience of live theatre. When you see real life human beings on stage, bringing all of the puppetry, all of the animals, and all of the story and the narrative to life, it brings it so much closer, almost, you know, kind of intimately involving and engaging for the audience. And I think that's what the difference is between the movie and the musical. The movie's obviously great in its own right, but the musical is a completely different beast. And I think that's what makes the musical really stand out.
Yeah.
Must have come with some pressure for you, though, because it's one thing to say, look, I'm going to be in a big music production. It's another to say, I'm taking over a character made famous by Jeremy Irons.
I know. Yeah, and
no
what an
pressure.
actor. Yeah, none whatsoever. No, I mean, it is pressure, but it's, I suppose the way of looking at it is that it's positive pressure, because you see the challenges in taking on a role as complicated and as complex.
You'd never know it was you in the outfit. It's amazing, isn't
That's
it?
some amount of makeup. That's more makeup than I wear.
I know. There's me pulling my serious face for the.
What's the costume like, though? Because it's so intricate, but it must weigh a ton as well.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's obviously very manoeuvrable, and it's great when you get to see it on and just how much of a presence he is when you're fully in the costume and when you're in the makeup, and how it just transforms you and really, really brings the character to life. It's wonderful. But again, that's all down to the people from hair and makeup and people from costume and wardrobe and all of those that are there to help you put it all together. Without them, it wouldn't be anything. So.
You spoke, of course, about watching The Lion King first. And Chicago the same weekend. The passion and love for musical theatre actually was visible on your face when you were talking about that. But you stepped back from it for a while. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I did. It was so a few years ago, I had kind of been presented with a very unfortunate personal circumstance. My brother passed away very unexpectedly and suddenly, and he was someone that was a massive influence in my life. He was very supportive, very encouraging of me being involved. And for a while within that year, there was a part of me that wanted to quit altogether. I think I was just quietly struggling through trying to process the loss of him being such a huge person in my life. But I had to kind of pick myself up and start over again and just give myself that positive energy, because this is something that I do obviously love doing and I'm very, very passionate about. And I think that was just a struggle that was inevitably going to make me learn a lot about, you know, who I am and more about myself. And it just so happened that coincidentally The Lion King came along at the right time, and it was great to be able to audition for that and to be able to get that opportunity.
Did you find it, because I know for me, when I'm feeling grief, music brings me great joy through tough times, but to lose the love of music in that must have been incredibly difficult for you. And I suppose getting something like the Lion King to bring that spark back, very special.
Yeah, very special, very, very fulfilling as well. And as you said, yeah, there is a sense of therapy, and there's something very kind of psychological about music, which I definitely connect with on a level where I know that I need it very much in my life to be able to process so many different things, and to be able to get me through the day, to be able to, you know, wake up and you know, bring out the best in myself. I think that's what music does for me. That's what musical theatre has always done for me. And even at a time where I'd considered stepping back from it completely, that's what it did. It just gave me a bit of a resurrected energy, and it felt good now. And Lion King was coming around the corner.
It must also be a particular treat to bring it to your hometown, because you've been touring with it, to come in front of a Dublin audience.
Yeah. When you know what a Dublin audience is like, and when you know what they're going to be like at the Bord Gais Energy Theatre, like, wow, it is special. And I keep having to tell myself this is going to happen in a few weeks. And what an electric reception all of the people.
And a gorgeous venue as well. I mean, the combination of a home crowd in the BGE.
And the acoustics are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful theatre. It's it's a massive capacity, and it's got that real kind of classy feel to it. And it's great as well because, like, regardless of where you're sitting in the theatre, you can see everything right up front. It almost gives it like a beautiful kind of three-dimensional feel. And with a show like The Lion King, that's going to go down a treat. So
yeah. But of course, it's not just theatre people are familiar with you from. You dabbled in reality TV as well.
I did for a while, yes, yeah. Yeah, I did for a bit. I was a part of Britain's Got Talent in 2019. I'd made it to the semi-finals, which was a wonderful experience. And that was also during that time where I was trying to process that grief for the loss of my brother. And that was a wonderful platform to be given, to be able to get up there and express myself and find my voice again. And thankfully I did. And yeah, nothing but good times.
On the topic of The Voice, people will of course be very impressed. I mean, were very impressed with The Voice when they saw it in Britain's Got Talent. Does it take a toll on The Voice doing the kind of musical theatre? Because I assume you have to do it as big as you can to fill a venue like that, and it's day in, day out.
Yeah, it is. You're right, absolutely. It is day in, day out, and it's a certain commitment where you're trying to kind of watch, you know, your sleep pattern, your water intake, you know, what you're doing with your kind of time off the stage as well as on the stage, and just trying to find that balance and trying to find your routine is key to being able to shapeshift. And to go from something like Britain's Got Talent to playing a role like Scar, a lot of it is just about the practice and the regularity and trying to find your nuance. But, you know, like with Scar, rehearsing for that and being put in that process, it was just, it's something completely different to Britain's Got Talent. But thankfully I had the time and people behind the show and behind me as an individual creatively to find out what that was. And here I am.
Yeah. You know what? I can't wait to see it. It's going to be absolutely lovely.
Totally.
I'm telling you, it does feed the soul. Thank you so much for joining us.
Total pleasure.
And no pressure now. When you're back in front of all the gang from home now. Tickets for The Lion King at the Bord Gais Energy Theatre on sale from Ticketmaster right now.
Coming up, we're going to be getting a lesson in flower pressing. You can join us after the break for that.
Welcome back. The headlines. Forecasters are predicting temperatures today could break September records. A high temperature alert remains in place for the entire country, with a warning that there could be highs of almost 30 degrees in parts of the Midlands. The previous September record is 29.1 degrees. Met Éireann is warning of the potential for heat stress and says temperatures will not drop below 15 degrees at any time tonight. A heat wave will likely be confirmed today, though forecasters say it will be cooler over the weekend. The Department of Foreign Affairs says it's providing consular assistance after 2 Irish tourists were killed in a crash in Rome. The couple were hit by a car in the south of the city while they were crossing a busy road near a campsite. The man and woman, who are understood to be aged in their late 50s and early 60s, were pronounced dead at the scene. Local media says that stretch of road is one of the most dangerous in the Italian capital. And new data shows a rise in the amount of fraud money being washed through Irish bank accounts. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through Money Mule accounts in the first half of the year, a rise of almost 50% from last year. Most of the accounts are owned by young people.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Thank you very much, Ger. We're live here behind the scenes down at Leopardstown Racecourse at the moment. We're going to be previewing all the action ahead of the Irish Champions Festival that kicks off here this weekend. So that's all to come at 8:45. Quick look at weather, and it is a beautiful start down here in the south of the county at the moment. A little bit of morning mist and morning fog, but certainly that sunshine will help burn it off pretty lively now as we edge our way into the back end of your breakfast time. Those moderate to locally fresh southerly winds variable at times. Now, right across the day, all eyes on those temps, as you heard there in the news. Status yellow high temperature warning remaining with us. We could be looking at record-breaking temperatures out there today. 24 to a possibility of 28, even 29 degrees. So, as I mentioned, a record breaker on the cards potentially for September. Heat stress. Keep plenty of water on board as well with a high UV factor too. Now, right across into tonight, dry, calm and settled. Again, some passing mist, a little bit of trailing fog as well. Into tomorrow morning with overnight lows no lower than 13 to 18 degrees. So that's how it's shaping up for now. Lots of horse racing action coming your way. 8:45.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, the art of flower pressing is something that's growing in popularity, and this morning we're getting a lesson in how to perfect it.
Joanna Salmons from Sheig Botanicals is here to show us everything we need to know. Now, Joanna, you're very welcome. I'm excited to learn all about this. For those who might not know what flower pressing is, what is it?
Thanks so much. So flower pressing is all about preserving flowers. So they could be from your garden or local habitat or a special bouquet that you've received maybe. So it's preserving that so that it lasts all year round. So you can make your own artwork from it.
How did you get into it?
I got into it, so I run a business with my best friend, Lorna. And as children, we loved, running through the countryside with each other's families on the west coast of Ireland. We loved kind of gathering flowers and looking at them. So it all started from there, I suppose, our love of nature.
And is this all made through just foraging your own flowers in the garden, or is there something specific that you have to use?
So we do recommend growing your own wildflowers if you can, even leaving your grass to grow a little bit longer. You'd be amazed at the native wildflowers that will appear.
Wilding, I think they call it these days.
You can start with that. We do recommend using a flower press just because by using the special blotting paper, it really helps soak up the moisture. Using the flower press like this, it has, the bolts and screws and wing nuts and everything to really kind of press it in there and soak up all the moisture.
When I used to do this when I was younger, I just get a flower and put it into a book. Like 2 bits of my copy paper and put it into a book, and that would be the best of it. But there's actually a specific thing. And we have a yoke here.
That's right, yeah. So feel free to open them up.
Oh, look, the excitement. We're doing things.
So if you want to unscrew your wing nuts there.
Yeah. And
then we will take off the first sheet of wood. So we do recommend starting with smaller flowers just because there's less moisture in there.
I'm doing mine the wrong way around.
They press more easily. So
righty tighty, lefty
screw
loosey.
to the left, that's it.
Lefty loosey, lefty loosey.
That's it, yeah. That's it.
Okay, you can...
Yeah, and in here we have, so we have a sheet of card, and that just lets air circulate in your flower press.
Yeah.
And then we have some sheets of blotting paper. So we can place our flowers on
we are really bad at loosening things. We should have heard as we did earlier with this, lads.
No handy women here.
No. No. Right, yay! So, crap!
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. Don't complain me for saying that. Right. So here we go. We take this off. So
take
we have.
That off, yeah.
First of all, cardboard, and that lets the air circulate.
Correct,
number one.
yes, absolutely, yeah.
And then this is blotting paper.
That's it, yeah. And we have lots of flowers here that I just brought in from our own garden this morning.
Yeah.
So we've buttercups and status and yarrow, so a nice little mix of flowers.
And are we leaving everything on? Like, do we need to take off or cut any stems, any leaves? What would you recommend?
So for smaller flowers, you can put everything in there, you know? Yeah, it's totally fine. So say something
can
like...
I ask you just here, so you can do more than one here. You can just do a number. So between each layer you need, so you have your cardboard, blotting paper, put the flower there, and this on top of it, and then another one. Okay, I got you.
That's it, yeah.
Right.
I'm leaving that. That's never coming off. I'll just watch you guys do it. So are you saying that right when you get it onto the paper, you could put it straight into a frame?
That's it. So, we do recommend leaving it for about 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
It's good to check it as well, you know, maybe once a week, just to see if you need to swap out the blotting paper.
Do you like butter?
I love butter.
Yeah. So this is listen, buttercups are everywhere. You can find them in any wild garden. So I'll just start with this then. So is it so with this, I'll just pick this bit off?
That's it, yeah, absolutely.
So should you make it in the way you want it to go?
That's it, exactly,
okay.
yeah.
So I'm making my own art here.
That's it,
How do you get the flowers to...
So, if you just kind of place it anyway, whatever way you'd like it to look in your artwork.
I feel like the more wild it looks, the better.
Yeah, but you don't...
Like this example here is gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually a bridal bouquet that we have preserved. Bride kindly let us bring it along today. And the flowers were actually from an Irish flower farmer. So,
and would bridal bouquets be your highest request on the website?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. No, so we are currently taking bookings for next year for anyone getting married, yes. But
it's a lovely
any
idea.
special bouquet we do preserve.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I'm doing here now. This is quite long. So you put
maybe in the centre.
Yeah, and I just space them out really well.
Yeah.
So it's the more paper the flower can access, the better.
Okay.
if that makes sense, just to help soak up that moisture.
Okay, I need a scissors now to chop off this.
So I
Do you
have the scissors
Oh,
here. Yeah, we
excellent.
have a wee snip.
Lovely.
There you go. And then we say for bigger flowers like hydrangea or something like that.
See, you're not going to be able to squish that down, realistically speaking, are you?
No,
How do you do that then?
So something like that, we would actually remove each petal and petal by petal place it on our press. A good tip is actually to take a picture of it before you begin, and then you can recreate it.
Oh, lovely.
After it's finished pressing.
And now, is it only flowers you can use? What else could we take from the garden that isn't flowers?
Yeah, so the leaves, stems, you know, everything. So whatever I like to use everything. I like to press it all, just so there's no waste, you know.
Yeah.
And also your artwork will look more natural and it'll really bring it to life.
And you know what? At this time of year as well, you've got beautiful autumnal leaves. The trees are turning, so you get some gorgeous. Here, you opened it. Oh, yours is nicer than mine already. But you do get some gorgeous, and we've such beautiful wildlife here in Ireland.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. No, I think that's what we love most about our job. We're very lucky. It kind of connects us with nature, and you know, I think anyone with kids as well, it's a great way to kind of introduce nature, you know, and creativity and
you're speaking of kids, though, it's a great thing to do with them as well, because not only are you doing something beautiful and it's crafty, it's educational as well, because
Absolutely.
you can. It's important, I think, for everyone to know about our native wildlife and how precious it is.
That's the thing, yeah. No, we're very lucky. We have a lot of books out there from Irish authors on, you know, wildflower identification as well. So we'd always say, if it is rare, leave it alone, you know.
Yes. And for those at home that might want to try this and they don't have a professional flowering pressing machine, what can they use as an alternative?
Yeah, so you can always use a book, you know, that's fine. You can use newspaper, things like that as well to soak it up. Okay. We've actually started making our own flower presses, which we recently launched.
So this is what we have here. So I'm going to press mine now. So what do I do? Just squish this?
So that's it, yeah. You just place your paper on top.
Okay.
Yeah, and then another sheet of card.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
And then you just keep going like that. So you can add more blotting paper, another layer of flowers. So we made this press quite big, so you can really fit a whole bouquet in there, you know.
So when I have this done, then you just put this on again.
That's it, yes, yeah.
And get my wing nuts.
That's it,
and squish it down. How long should I leave it in this flower press for, though?
Yeah, so we would say 3 to 4 weeks in somewhere warm and dark, ideally. So a hot press somewhere like that.
Yeah, and should you change the paper at any stage, or is it okay?
Yeah, well, it's no harm. It's no harm to check on it.
Yeah.
You know, every 1 to 2 weeks. We always say they're like our little babies. You know, we check them once a week. And yeah, if needed, then you can swap out the paper.
Okay. So next month, anyway, I'll show everyone my beautiful artwork that I have created here. Might do a few more, actually. Listen, thank you so much for educating us this morning.
Now
we can make beautiful art. Look at us.
What a creative morning. I finally got mine done.
Hey! Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Now, coming up, we should actually get Deric one of these as well. I'd say he'd be great. Deric will, in fact, be horsing around in Leopardstown. See you for that in 3. Welcome back to Ireland AM. There's a festival of horse racing happening this weekend, and of course we've sent Deric to investigate. Good morning, Deric.
Good morning, Elaine. Welcome down here behind the scenes of Leopardstown Racecourse. As you mentioned there, a massive weekend of Irish flat racing coming your way here with the Irish Champions Festival kicking off this weekend, spread across both the Curragh and here in Leopardstown. Joining us now, giving us a little bit of a preview of all the racing action to come are Tim Husbands and Jane Headley. And Tim, we'll start with you because it really is a massive weekend of racing action ahead.
It is. We've got a massive weekend of Irish sport, but this is really like a cup final for horse racing. It's the Irish Champions Festival. It's unique in that it brings racing from 2 different race courses together under one umbrella. There'll be over 10,000 people here tomorrow. The noise will be tremendous, and you'll see the highest quality of racing.
Now, we've got some tremendous racing ahead. In fact, some top Grade 1 races as well.
Yeah, we've got 2 Group 1 races. We have the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes, and then we have the Coolmore Matron Stakes. But there's a full supporting card too. But the 2 Grade 1s are really very exciting to think about.
The Irish Champion Stakes is worth a few bob as well, isn't it?
It's worth 1.25 million, so it's not to be sneezed at. And that's what makes it very competitive. We've got 9 entries, so it's going to be very competitive from right across the globe.
Now, on top of the racing action, the parade ring, we were walking around it earlier on, looking smashing. We have a full festival lineup here this weekend.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. It is a festival. It's not just a race meeting. So it's the combination of the high-quality racing, but we have entertainment. We have Mark McCabe doing his Maniac 2000.
Oh, Maniac 2000, we'll be dancing to that tomorrow.
Exactly. We've had him on earlier on this summer and brought the house down. But we have lots of other entertainment taking place throughout the day, brass bands, etc. So there is something for everybody here.
And top-class racing as well. Jane, we're going to pop over to you because we've been walking around the racecourse here this morning and it looks pretty smashing, I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, we could not be more pleased with where it is today.
Tell us about the work that goes in to make it all happen behind the scenes.
Oh, gosh, where do I start? It's a year-round process producing a racecourse for a day like this. There's a huge amount goes on behind the scenes. There's a team of about 12 people working on the track daily. Obviously, we have our normal race days all summer leading up to this, but this is the day that we really have it at its very best.
And as you know, weather plays a huge role, plays a huge factor in race day.
Yeah, no, 100%, and we've had such a lovely week this week.
Yeah, it's been beautiful, hasn't it?
Just last weekend, it was looking like there was maybe a chance of showers over these couple of days, but that chance seems to have dissipated, so we hopefully look set fair.
The going is looking pretty good out there in the track at the moment. How do you actually measure the going?
So, this gadget, terribly technical.
The old walking stick.
Equipment that I have in my hand. Literally every person who is involved in going assessment has their own stick, and you know if they ask to borrow your stick, they're an amateur. You've got to have your own one, and you get to know from walking tracks day in day out. You get to know how it feels.
Yeah, the Royal Bahrain Irish Champion Stakes, we've got some major horses running in the race. We have got Ring of Steel, right?
King of Steel.
King of Steel.
Yes. Yeah, he's here. He arrived this morning, so that we've got quite a few horses in already. The 240 Holyhead to Dublin sailing was pretty busy. So he's here and looking tremendous, and I think he's just edging favouritism for the big race at the moment. Obviously, August Stradan is just second favourite, but it's
Aidan O'Brien's Coomore stud, yeah.
Absolutely, but a really open race, really strong field and competitive open race, so we couldn't be more pleased with it.
Come over to me here, Tim. The Tory factor, he's going to be Frankie Dettori. It's his final appearance really at a race meeting.
Yeah, it is. Every race meeting looks for that magical factor, and earlier on this week we found out that Frankie was going to ride in the Champion Stakes and a couple of other races, and that is the Dettori factor. We know it's going to increase the number of people and the amount of interest from across the globe in what's happening on our track, but it's really important because it is the last time you will get the chance to see Frankie Dettori riding on Irish soil Saturday and Sunday.
And he's had a phenomenal career really over the last decade or so.
Fantastic. I mean, if you look at the Irish Champion Stakes, he's won that 6 times. He's looking for a record 7th on Ernesto on Saturday. That will equal...
the French horse.
That's right. It'll equal Mick Kinnane's record. So there's a lot riding on it for Frankie too, and he'll be very competitive, I'm sure.
It will be very competitive. In terms of the other races, then, as you mentioned, two Grade 1 races here this weekend.
Yeah, we've got those 2 Grade 1 races, but we have a full supporting card that has entries from the UK and Ireland, and we expect them to be equally competitive.
Jane, it's going to be a very competitive weekend. Do you look forward to all the racing action?
Oh, really looking forward to it. And as Tim just touched on, we're delighted to have the international support. Obviously, we've got Ernesto here from France. He's arriving this evening, so delighted to have him. And I think we've got 13 UK runners across the card. So real strength and depth right through the cards.
All right, well, IrishChampionsFestival.ie is where you'll find out more online. By the way, Tim, have you got any tips for the weekend?
I do, but I'm not sure I'm able to share them. But I think with Frankie Dettori running, you've got every chance of definitely in each way and possibly a winner. Our strapline is it all comes down to this, and we're so excited. We cannot wait till 1:45.
Jane, any tips?
I steer clear of that neck of the woods. I just enjoy the racing.
All right, and lots of racing action ahead. And it looks, by the way, that the weather's going to hold right across the weekend as well. So here in Leopardstown, across the Curragh as well, 2 days of racing action with the Irish Champion Festival well underway this weekend. But for now, back to you guys in studio.
Thanks for that, Deric. Now, still to come, broadcaster Laura Fox on her new gig fronting Ireland's Fittest family.
Plus, we've got bacon and kimchi fried rice on the menu.
Yeah, and we're transitioning from summer to autumn on the catwalk, so stay with us. We're live in 10.
Hello again, you're watching Ireland AM on Friday. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We've plenty more on the way for the last hour.
I better sit up straight, my posture's shocking. Now, still to come, she's the new face of mega hit TV show Ireland's Fittest Family. Broadcaster Laura Fox will be stopping by.
Plus, the weather has taken us by surprise, but the high street has turned its attention to autumn. We're looking at what to wear when the chill inevitably hits over the next few days.
The optimism, the optimism. Anyway, Katya, we can smell the food from here. What are you up to this morning?
Well, the kimchi smells good, doesn't it? And we haven't even started cooking. I'm in the kitchen with Chef Ava Pau. What are we making today?
We're making bacon and kimchi fried rice with all these lovely ingredients I have here. So we're going to be using some Korean hot pepper paste and some Korean kimchi, preserved vegetables.
Well, you know, we always love trying something new in here. I love kimchi, but bacon and kimchi, that is a combo. Looking forward to that. Deric, tell us, the sun is going to stick around for another little while longer?
Go from there, we'll send you on the footage. Have you got my number?
Oh, no, Deric. Well, anyway, let's take a look at our 9 o'clock headlines. Here's Hannah Murphy.
Thanks, Katya, and good morning. Forecasters say temperatures could break September records today. A high temperature alert remains in place for the entire country, with a warning that there could be highs of almost 30 degrees in parts of the Midlands. The current September record is 29.1 degrees. Met Éireann is warning of the potential for heat stress and says temperatures will not drop below 15 degrees at any time tonight. A heat wave will likely be confirmed today.
South Midlands, North Munster, areas like Tipperary or even North Cork potentially. Now, it would be very isolated, of course, but these areas will definitely see high 20s. Temperatures over the weekend will still be quite good in the low to mid 20s, and then we will be seeing much more typical temperatures on the way for next week as a cold front moves down Sunday night into Monday.
The Department of Foreign Affairs says it's providing consular assistance after 2 Irish tourists were killed in a crash in Rome. The couple were hit by a car in the south of the city while they were crossing a busy road near a campsite. The man and woman, who were understood to be aged in their late 50s and early 60s, were pronounced dead at the scene. Local media says that stretch of road is one of the most dangerous in the Italian capital. There are plans to improve community safety in Dublin's north inner city following a spate of attacks there over the summer. The Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, will unveil a local community safety plan today, bringing businesses, local groups and Gardaí together in order to improve areas impacted by drugs and antisocial behaviour. Similar initiatives had previously been launched in counties Longford and Waterford. New data shows a rise in the amount of fraud money being washed through Irish bank accounts. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through money mule accounts in the first half of the year, a rise of almost 50% from last year. Most of the accounts are owned by young people.
Money muling is on the rise. Instances where people allow their accounts to be used to launder cash with the promise of making a quick buck. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through such accounts in the first 6 months of this year, a rise of almost 50% on last year. Some 2,600 money mule accounts were identified by Irish banks, with the average amount now in the region of €10,000, more than double last year's average. Criminals frequently target young adults, usually recruiting them through social media ads and messages. But according to FraudSmart, they also approach young people in person, outside schools, colleges or sports clubs. The majority of account holders are aged between 18 and 24, with some as young as 15. The advice is to be careful of unsolicited easy money schemes and to carefully research work from home opportunities. Aubrey Robinson, Virgin Media News.
A jury has found a former Donald Trump advisor guilty of contempt of Congress for refusing to cooperate with an investigation into the January 6th attack on the US Capitol. The verdict found Peter Navarro guilty of failing to turn over documents to the January 6th committee and failing to appear for testimony. Sentencing won't take place until January, but it's expected he'll have to spend time behind bars if the decision stands. Widespread flooding in central Greece has left at least 6 people dead, 6 others missing and dozens more trapped. Divers and water rescue teams have been deployed as floodwaters rose to more than 2 metres in places. Severe rainstorms have turned streams into raging torrents, bursting dams, washing away roads and bridges and hurling cars into the sea. Residents in some villages took refuge on roofs of their homes to escape the floodwaters. Around 60 people were airlifted to safety after spending a night on their roof without food or water. And an American caver who was stuck more than 1,000 metres below the ground in Turkey says he's lucky to be alive. Mark Dickey fell ill while exploring a cave in Turkey's Taurus Mountains at the weekend. He suffered internal bleeding that has since been stabilised, but he's unable to make his way back to the surface. Experts from around the world have come together for an operation to free him.
I look forward to working with everyone to safely get myself out with their assistance. As you can see, I'm up, I'm alert, I'm talking, but I'm not healed on the inside yet, so I'm going to need a lot of help to get out of here.
Thank you very much there. Just over my shoulder there, we've got a fleila from the Shadwell Stables running in the Irish Champion Festival this weekend down here at Leopardstown Racecourse. Quick look at weather, slipping past 9 o'clock here together, and it is a dry settled start. Plenty of sunshine now on the breakfast menu as we wake up into your Friday morning with some mist and fog, but certainly those bright sunny spells burning it off pretty lively now in those light southerly or variable breezes. Now, right across today, as you heard there in the news, that status yellow high temperature warning remaining with us until 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. And in fact, all eyes really on those values out there today. A potential record breaker for September. It looks like temps there up to around 24 to 28. A possibility of 29 to 30 degrees through parts of the Midlands. So very, very hot out there this Friday. High UV index as well. High risk of sunburn. So take plenty of water on board and stay safe underneath that roasting sun. Right across then into tonight, it looks like mainly dry and settled. Some thundery showers inland will die back. Elsewhere, drier and clear with some mist and fog as well, as we work our way into your Saturday morning with overnight lows heavy and humid back to 13 to 18 degrees. Very, very muggy. Anyway, that's how we're shaping up for now. We'll be back again live at 9:35.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Now let's take a final check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which leads with the headline: Donoghue says €6.4 billion budget on track, plans to deliver a budget package of about €6.4 billion will proceed, even if there is more volatility in Ireland's tax receipts this year. Minister for Public Expenditure, Paschal Donoghue, has said.
And it's taxing the Indo as well. Thousands of vacant homes to be hit with a new property tax. That's their front page. Up to 60,000 vacant homes are going to be subject to a new tax from the start of November as the government tries to push more properties available for sale or rent.
The Examiner leads with Fine Gael hopes to elect senators as TDs step down. Fine Gael is reportedly pinning its hopes on electing senators to the Dáil to make up for the loss of up to 9 sitting TDs before the next general election.
On to the tabloids, and the Daily Mail leads with bosses at RTE urged to take 10% pay cut. And the paper is detailing how senior executives in RTE have been asked to cut their salary by 10% as the broadcaster is in need of a bailout of more than 55 million quid.
School kids 8 told to call teacher they. That's on the front page of the Mirror. The paper claims that third-class pupils in a Dublin Educate Together were given the instruction last week.
The Star leads with details of the inquest into the death of Julie Crowe from County Meath, who suffered an horrific ordeal while on holiday in Greece.
And the Herald leads with Gardaí close in on Eddie Hutch murder suspect. According to the paper, a file on the gangland murder of the brother of crime boss Jerry the Monk Hutch will be sent to the DPP in the next few weeks. Gardaí have confirmed.
I was asking earlier on about your scam. Load of text coming in on that saying Mary Byrne and Sue Cleaver were also caught up in that weight loss scam recently. Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, it's just going on everywhere.
I know, yeah. And we have Lorraine that says, my poor mom got involved in one of those bank scams. It seems like every other day you get a text asking you to click on a suspicious link. And that's why, you know, parents, grandparents have to be aware, because it is very easy to get caught up into it.
Yeah.
Now, to lighten the mood, Donald says, my favourite scams are those fake Instagram beauty scams who send a DM saying they love your look and want to collaborate. As a man with 0 Instagram posts, I can't help but wonder what they see in me.
Yes, you never know. Maybe it's osmosis. Your beauty goes through by osmosis. Who knows?
Now, some lovely text on the weather, because it is a gorgeous day and it's predicted to be the hottest day in the summer. So Margaret says the heat is horrendous. All the poor people with breathing problems are struggling. Yes, I agree. Guys, you have to look out for yourselves. Jessica says, a beautiful sunny day for my brother Colin to marry his lovely fiancée Amy here in Wexford. So happy that after years, as the only girl in the family, she finally becomes my sister.
Do you know what? The Child of Prague has been working overtime over the last few days, it has to be said.
I'm on the radio yesterday and I got a text from the show to say that somebody who had booked, I think, an Airbnb in Dunmore East at random about 3 months ago, but for today and tomorrow, like, what are the chances of like Saint-Tropez? Absolutely perfect. Perfect. It's great.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now, coming up, speaking of gorgeous, she's the new host of Ireland's Fittest Family. Broadcaster Laura Fox is stopping by. See you for that in 3. You're very welcome back to Ireland AM. Our next guest has seen her career go from strength to strength after being announced as the new presenter of Ireland's Fittest Family.
Broadcaster Laura Fox is also preparing to take to the stage tonight to present the Stella Instastar Awards. And she's here to tell us more about it. Yeah, I've been worried about that one all morning, Laura. How are you? It's lovely to see you.
I'm great, thanks so much
Why
for
are
having
you
me.
up so early if you have an award ceremony tonight? Should you not be sleeping in and relaxing?
I don't think there's such thing as sleeping and relaxing, is there, all the time? But when you guys called, I was like, absolutely, please. I would love to get up and come over and spend my morning with you.
Why and why not? Come here, you've had a busy enough time of it lately.
Yeah, it's been great. It's just been so much fun. I mean, like, the Stellar Awards are obviously on tonight. They're here for the 3rd year, all thanks to Hey You, and like, it's one of my favourite things to do, and they've had me for the last 3 years, thank God. I'm really enjoying it. But then obviously Ireland's Fittest Family came along this year, and that's just been a bit of a whirlwind.
The audition process for that, though, I was reading up about it. You thought you were being asked to be a contestant in it.
Yes, I love the show. So when they rang and they said, it was my agent who called me, and she said, like, hi Laurie, like, you know, and all I heard was Ireland's Fittest Family down the end of the line, and I went, yeah. Absolutely, count me in for that. This is my... And I was like, just give me 1 second, because can we check the rules? Because I just need to see, am I okay to have a friend, or does it need to be a family member? I was like, my uncle's pretty good. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, am I going on Ireland's Fittest Family? She was like, no, Laura, it's to present Ireland's Fittest Family. And then I chaos.
Not with weather.
I was like, I couldn't cope.
Mairead Ronan, who was your predecessor, just sort of sworn to secrecy. It was like being CIA membership about her departure. So you had no idea she was going. Like,
I had no idea. And to me as well, Mairead was such an integral part of Fittest Family. Like, you just associated the show with her because she was there for 10 years. So I think that was a huge shock then as well, that she was taking the time to step down and, you know, go and be with her family. Because it's a long time. Like, you shoot all through the summer, and 10 years of that it's a lot.
Yeah, but in fairness, so when you look at what the poor people go through, I mean, God almighty. Tell us about the mentors now. Who do we have this year?
So we have got Davy Fitz, Donegal Callahan, then Nina Carvery, and there is a very special guest in Fran Aguirre this year, which is Sonia O'Sullivan. So that was a bit of a whirlwind. Yeah. Because I think we all grew up, like, I was in school when Sonia was running. It was like, oh my God. Like, and I think that's the bit where my granny was just like, it's Sonia O'Sullivan. What's going on here? So
you had to calm your fangirl nerves.
And I never calm my fangirl nerves. I don't believe in it. I'm like, if you're excited, be excited and show people you're excited to see them. I think they're a huge deal. So.
Oh, look, there's her granny.
Oh yeah. So she is one of the biggest fans of Fittest Family going. Like, she's watched it every single year. She can talk about Fittest Family the same way that people would talk about in All Ireland, because she'll know who won, what happened, you know, how much work they put in. Like, she knows the works. So when it actually came around to filming and we were doing the final last weekend, and I'd said it to, like, the crew, who were so amazing, and they went, bring her up for the day. And I thought, like, when I gave her the news, she was like, oh no, like I couldn't. And I was like, no, you actually can. And she's like, okay, and I'm going to just stand back. I'm not going to talk to anybody and I'm going to stay out of the way. She had a great day for herself. My mother came up as well and my sister too, so it was brilliant.
But you know, isn't that the lovely thing about television? People might talk about it, that it's streaming services, etc., taking over, but they're not, because it's hugely popular.
Yeah.
You have things like that. People from all over the country. It's like the All-Ireland of fitness, really.
Exactly.
When you think about it. But I need to ask you one thing. That hanging tough challenge, is that still there?
Might be.
It looks brutal.
Sorry, the most brutal thing. But I think that's always been my favourite one.
But it is.
Hasn't it?
Please hang on for one more second. Please hang on. I wouldn't last daylight.
Check on this. Are there rules about the grips you have to use? Because I always wonder if you overlap your thumb, would you be able to hang on long?
I think you can kind of do whatever is going to get you quicker, but you would think that that is an
You would, like,
easy
if you took
grip.
it and went over the
yeah,
top.
but that thumb's going to get very sore.
Yeah,
because your whole body weight's on it.
What's a dislocated thumb? And victory is at the end of it.
I'd like to see that. Honestly, sign
Anton's family now. You can go the next
Really?
yourself and Terry, off you go. But it is quite a brutal and gruelling challenge, and I don't think we realise it at home. It looks bad enough, but I'd say on the ground of it, you see a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Honestly, it opened my eyes this year to everything that's going on. Like, even the bales of hay. You know, where you're screaming at the telly being like, get over it! Why are you not getting up quicker? And then I look at what they do for the entire day to themselves. And, like, these families are there for, like, 12, 13 hours. They're, like, really putting the work in. They could be doing up to 3 challenges that day. And they're exhausted mentally and physically, but they stay going, they push themselves through it, and they're always still such crack at the end. Like, you know, they're very much like, yeah, that was mad. Because they're competitive families. You are competitive if you're going on to that show. You're
But they tend to remain nice to each other, though, which is the amazing bit. Like, you would have thought in that kind of pressure.
Do they?
But I think that that's one of those things, you're never going to be in a situation with anybody like that ever again. So, like, they're never going to have another family who's gone through the exact same experiences and knows what it's like to actually be on Ireland's Fittest Family, do all the challenges. Like, we're talking here about hang tough, and we're speculating on what that is like to actually do. They know what it's like, so you kind of bond over that.
Oh my God, dislocated shoulder territory.
I don't want to be too mercenary about all this, but it has to be said from your perspective, it's a great gig as well.
It's a great gig.
It is. Prime time, you know.
I mean, but like, for me, I started in radio 10 years ago in Galway, and then I took a gamble and moved up to Dublin about 7 years ago, and I just was kind of knocking door to door, like going from pillar to post, like really was borrowing from like Peter to pay Paul, like the works of like just trying to get a gig anywhere. And I was in 2FM, and I honestly was like making jobs up for myself. I was like, any chance you need someone to do this on this show or this on this show, and just kept going and going and going. So I mean, that's why it was such a shock when the call came for Ireland's Fittest Family to screen test. It was very much like, okay, yeah, cool. That's why I thought they wanted me on the show, not to present the show. And even to screen test the show, I went, okay, this will be fantastic, because screen testing will open the doors, hopefully, to other work that, you know, I could potentially get out of getting on their radar from being in front of them like this. And then when I actually got the gig, it was just, like, amazing.
Now, is it true that you have, in a former life, were a beauty queen?
I actually was on Ireland AM before, when I was Miss Galway.
What year were you Miss Galway?
Oh, 2013. Yeah.
Wow, I was probably involved in Miss
You
Ireland
were?
back then. Was I hosting
Yes,
it or
you
a
were
judge
hosting
or
it.
something? Oh my goodness, so I probably interviewed
Yes.
you. Oh my God, was I nice?
You were always nice.
Oh, I don't know, now I get a bit worried.
I don't think there's a bad bone in your body, to be honest, Elaine.
There's several of them, I keep them well hidden. But like, when you look back at that to where you are now, I mean, and it's graft. I mean, talk about, you don't get to host Ireland's Fittest Family, A, unless you're really good at what you do, and B, unless you're a really, really hard worker. Because a lot of people think all you have to do, and speaking of Instagram, all you have to do is pop up on Instagram and then you can get a TV gig. It does not work that way.
It doesn't work that way, but Instagram also didn't exist when I was knocking about doing the likes of Miss Ireland. Like, that was great crack. I mean, that again, like talking about, like, you know, supporting people and being in a situation that you aren't with anybody else. Only the girls that you did that with know about it. I still talk to them now, which I think is great. But like, I did the Miss Galway, and while I was there, I had seen that there was a Miss Sunday World, and I was like, oh, I always wanted to get into media, get into radio. I had no idea how, so went for that gig, got that gig, and then just kind of grafted through to see, like, okay, you know this person, any chance I can do this for you and this for you the entire time. It wasn't so much about like the beauty pageant aspect of it. I mean, those days are...
the foot in the kind of
Exactly. It's
Made
just
the
like
contacts a
getting
bit.
on the radar so that you can actually speak to other people.
Yeah.
But like, it has to be said, those days are great crack.
Yeah.
They're so much fun.
Like, don't diss them. They were good old fun.
You're firmly on the radar now.
Yeah.
Firmly
One
on
of
the
the
radar
most
now.
popular gigs in the country. Go you. I can't wait to see you in action. When's it airing?
It is airing on October 29th.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm so
Well done.
excited.
And good luck tonight, and don't be too,
Thank
hope
you
you're not
so
too tired.
much. Oh, I never will be. I mean, that's another room as well that's just full of energy and excitement, so it's going to be so much fun.
Thanks so much
Enjoy.
for joining us today. Lovely chatting to you. Now, coming up, it's almost time for us to have some food. We're making bacon and kimchi fried rice after the break. Do stay with us.
Welcome back. The headlines. Forecasters say temperatures today could break September records. A high temperature alert remains in place for the entire country, with a warning that there could be highs of almost 30 degrees in parts of the Midlands. The current September record is 29.1 degrees. Met Éireann is warning of the potential for heat stress and says temperatures will not drop below 15 degrees at any time tonight. A heat wave will likely be confirmed today, though forecasters say it will be slightly cooler over the weekend. The Department of Foreign Affairs says it's providing consular assistance after 2 Irish tourists were killed in a crash in Rome. The couple were hit by a car in the south of the city while they were crossing a busy road near a campsite. The man and woman, who are understood to be aged in their late 50s and early 60s, were pronounced dead at the scene. Local media says the stretch of road is one of the most dangerous in the Italian capital. And new data shows a rise in the amount of fraud money being washed through Irish bank accounts. According to FraudSmart, over €17 million was illegally transferred through money mule accounts in the first half of the year, a rise of almost 50% from last year. Most of the accounts are owned by young people.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Thank you very much. Sure, we've had a great morning down here previewing the Irish Champions Festival. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're heading to this neck of the woods down in Leopardstown Racecourse right across the weekend, and of course the Curragh kicking off on Sunday. First race here at 1:45. Now, final look at weather. It is a gorgeous start down here in South County Dublin. Mist and fog is burning off pretty lively now, with plenty of bright sunshine kicking through as the morning goes on in that light southerly or variable airflow. Across the day, as we heard there in the news, all eyes on those temps. It could be a potential record breaker for September. Values up to around 24 to 28. Possibility, would you believe, 29, even 30 degrees through parts of the Midlands out there today. Heat stress, high UV index as well. So take plenty of water on board right across your Friday as we edge our way into tonight. Then it looks like dry and settled. Once again, some patchy mist, a taster of fog as well, feeding its way into your Saturday morning. Heavy and humid, quite muggy in terms of those temps too, with overnight lows back to 13 to 18 degrees. So for me and Alan here on camera, that is your final weather update coming to you live here from Leopardstown Racecourse in South County Dublin.
You need to be chilled to handle Irish weather. That's why Chill sponsor weather updates on Virgin Media.
Perfect coffee every time. Tassimo sponsors cookery on Ireland AM.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, the sun is shining, so we decided it was time to bring the kitchen to the garden and celebrate while we can.
And we have Chef Eva Poe. Chef, how are you?
Very good.
Lovely to see you. What are you planning?
We are planning this bacon and kimchi fried rice. So if you are used to making like a fried rice, these ingredients here, just adding a few different ingredients, really jazzes up like a fried rice. So this is like a Korean style fried rice. We're going to use some like Korean hot pepper paste, Korean preserved vegetable, and so only something so simple, and it makes and transforms your fried rice.
Okay, where do we start?
So a bit of oil in your pan, and then we're going to put in some onion. So just chopped onion. So you stir fry the onion until it's kind of like slightly brown. But what I'm going to do is just stir fry for a little bit.
And it's okay using a pan. There'll be people who say this should all be in a wok. It's
I
heresy to use a
know,
pan.
I
Doesn't matter at all.
know. I mean, like at home, I use like a non-stick pan. Just because I find that if it's like a wok, first of all, you need like a proper kind of a wok burner. But You also kind of need, you use quite a bit of oil in it as well. So at home, I tend to just use like less oil in cooking.
And especially now you're adding in the bacon, it would naturally have a bit of, you know, like fat anyway. So does that help with the process?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I'm just going to add in some of the bacon. And then it's the rice. So the rice really makes your fried rice, as in depending on what type of rice you use. So I'm using some jasmine rice, but I have here like there's some Korean kind of rice there as well. It's kind of more sticky. It's a bit like the Japanese sushi rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a closer result, jasmine rice?
I quite like jasmine rice, yeah.
Okay.
But you see, you'd be interested. It's interesting to find that like using a different type of rice can make your kind of fried rice so much different. So like if you go to, for instance, like a Japanese like restaurant like Wagamama or something, you know, and they have a chahan, they have like a fried rice. They're using just like a sushi rice. And so you go, oh, what's the texture of this? How come it's so different to my own one? So, but you can actually do it at home, you know.
Okay.
So
And is it better to use rice from the day before or 2 days before?
Yes, so this is actually exactly, I'll tell you, you must be good at, you must cook at home. So yeah, so this, I'm using kind of rice I cooked yesterday. And it's just so that it gives it a bit more texture to it. So if you're using same day rice, it could sometimes get quite soft. And so it's nice to use the day old rice.
Okay.
So I've just added in some rice into the
smells
mixture.
good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love fried rice.
I'm gonna, there's a few ways to do the egg. You can add a bit of egg in. I like to just kind of put it a bit on the side and then kind of stir fry it for a little bit to get it into little kind of pieces. And
Oh,
then,
and you're kind of doing it on a separate side as well.
yeah, some people like to just kind of mix it all in, but I kind of like to do it on the side. And
Because then you get the little bits in it, it gives a bit of texture to it.
Yeah, and it also makes it look good as well, you know, because like if it's all kind of mushed into it, you're kind of like, oh, you don't really see the eggy pieces.
Yeah.
So this one, you can kind of see the little bits of egg.
And it's a great dish for what you know what they call sort of what's the word, cupboard ingredients. You don't really have to go out and buy anything. You have it all in the house.
So the thing is, like, once you stock up on these two ingredients, so there's the gochujang, the Korean hot pepper paste, and some of the kimchi. So the kimchi comes like chilled in a packet like this, or it could come like in a tin format. So as you said, your store cupboard ingredient, you can just kind of keep it in your
And
cupboard.
kimchi is what? It's preserved cabbage. Is that what it is?
You see, it's actually kind of Korean preserved vegetables, right? But the most common one is cabbage, which is the one I'm using today.
And you've probably seen it popularised so much now across the board because people say it's great for your gut health.
Yeah, so it's the bacteria that's from preserving it that is really good for your immune system, boosting your immune system. So that's why, like in Korea, they basically have this practically like a little plate of kimchi with every meal. So it's like pickled, like your sauerkraut or something. And
I mean, that's why you see people that are like 100 years old and they look about 50 because they're taking care of themselves.
Well, they're eating kimchi. So
they're eating kimchi.
Maybe the thing is like eat kimchi. So, okay, so I have all these ingredients in, and now I'm going to add in the kimchi. So this is, I've kind of slightly chopped the kimchi as well. So I'm going to add in quite a bit of the kimchi and then start adding in the gochujang. I don't know if you know the gochujang kind of hot pepper paste.
No.
So it's just kind of, it's really versatile, kind of.
Out of curiosity, how hot is it? Because you're being quite generous.
I was going to ask.
No, I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, what is Eva doing here? But actually, it's not. It's kind of made from. It's not like a hot chili. You know, I think it's a little bit spicy. Actually, I didn't check. How good is your spice level?
It's fine. I can sweat my way through the rest of the programme.
More or less into this.
You'll be talking and crying at the same time.
And then add a bit of soy. So add a bit of the soy, and then some sesame oil.
So you really don't have to worry too much about like dry herbal ingredients. Like it's all in the sauces and the ingredients that you're using naturally, right? Like in the kimchi, like it's got great flavour in it already.
This is the thing. So, like, because usually in your fried rice you add in light soy and some sesame oil. You know, so just adding this bit of like Korean hot pepper paste. But the Korean hot pepper paste, I think, is the next big ingredient because, like, you know, sriracha mayo.
Yeah.
You get, so if you want your Korean, Korean fried chicken or anything, it's used, the base of that is this hot pepper paste. And then, so like I mix it in with mayo. I mix it in with marinating like a Korean burger
Oh, lovely.
So, you know, I think it's a really good ingredient to have.
So what do you think? Are we ready to taste?
We are. So I'm going to sprinkle in a bit of spring onion.
And as you're plating up there, I assume as well you could throw in anything on. You can put in bits of chicken if you wanted. You could put in frozen peas, anything if you wanted to pack it out.
Like a fried rice, so you can put in what you want.
Kind of use everything up, you know, in your fridge as it's going.
I just think like the bacon just adds like a lot of nice flavour into it, you know. So I am very interested to find out what you think of the kimchi.
I'll have a quick taste because we were a couple of seconds out.
Okay.
I'll let you go for it.
Thank you so much, Eva.
Do the honours, Anton.
Oh, I'm going to be the one who starts sweating first. All right.
The first guinea pig.
I need to taste how hot it is first. Based off your reaction, how hot? It's good?
Oh, it's delicious.
Thumbs up.
Jackson.
Thumbs up.
Okay,
Thank you.
Oh, Eva. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Eva.
Thank you. And full recipe details, of course, are on the website. And you can find out more from Eva on asiamarket.ie.
Now, coming up, it's nearly time to add some layers to our autumn wardrobe. Fashion is quick after this break.
Perfect coffee every time. Tassimo sponsors cookery on Ireland AM.
Welcome back. Now, despite this week being fabulous with sunshine, autumn has officially started and will soon need an extra layer when heading outside. Stylist Barbara Meade is here with her picks to make the transition from summer into autumn. Now, I know it's very summery now, but apparently soon enough we're going to have freezing cold temperatures and horrible rain, so we do need to get prepared, Barbara.
By Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're preparing you for after the weekend, but our last look you can adjust for this weekend as well.
Okay,
We're going to start off with the first look. So we're looking at autumn layering. So the blanket scarf is an absolute key part of that essential wardrobe for autumn. So we're going to start and we'll go head to toe here on Natalia for the full look. So starting there with that great pair of earrings. A statement earring. I always love a statement earring with a day look.
Yes.
Just adds to it. Very designer inspired there from Bonnie and Pearl at bonniepearl.com. And then down to your scarf there, which is from Lush Boutique in Carlingford or lushboutique.ie. And again, just a really staple piece. It's big, it's cozy, and when you take it off, you see the jacket underneath. So this is actually a fake suede jacket. So it's lighter for this time of the year.
I love it.
And
I have a couple of them
so
actually. They're so
versatile.
handy. Nice for a cover-up, especially if you're going out date night, something like that.
And as well, even at the moment, you know, it's so warm during the day, but you still need something in the evenings. And through the season then, it will take you through there. This amazing jumpsuit underneath. Again, very versatile for this weekend while it's sunny, but also then taking you through the winter. And I love a jumpsuit like this, again, from Lush Boutique in Carlingford. I love a jumpsuit like this because you can actually layer a polo neck under it in the winter months, and the long sleeve coming through the statement sleeve on it, and then down to your bag, which is from Demoda Shoes, and your boots, just staying in that utility theme, which is really on trend this season. Both of those from Demoda Shoes in Tuam or demodashoes.ie. And so that's your first in your layering, all about keeping it light layers at the moment, and then you can add underneath or on top as the season goes on.
Perfect.
So our next look here is all about the sleeveless gilet, which again I think is a really important...
They're not going anywhere, are they, this season?
They're not, and I think they're here to stay. And you know, you're looking at them now in different fabrications. So this one is in a felt rather than in your puffa like previous seasons. But again, starting there with these lovely earrings, which pick up the colour of the gilet. Very ladylike from Bonnie and Pearl.
The colours in the scarf are absolutely gorgeous, aren't
they? And this scarf is from Demoda Shoes again. Just picking up all your colours through the look. And then going up to the gilet, as I said, the key statement piece for this look is the gilet. And I love this colour. It's almost hitting on the winter white, but a bit warmer than it.
And it's like that jersey style jacket as well.
It's actually a kind of a felt feel to it. So it's
cool.
light, but there is warmth in it as the winter months come through. And then underneath there, you have the beautiful pants picking up your colours that came through. The gilet pants and the lovely coordinated polo neck are all from Blush Clothing in Donegal or blushclothing.ie. And then just looking at the whole look together, finishing it off, the boot, we've left one leg tucked in and one tucked out. This is not a mistake.
Very cool.
Like, what's she
Very
doing this
trendy.
morning? Just to show you these amazing boots from Diamoda Shoes and Choom, but also to show you the structure on the leg of those trousers as well from Blush Clothing. Finishing off again with the hobo bag, not going anywhere. This can be worn crossbody or on the shoulder, but just for the ease of showing you the rest of the look this morning, we've left it on the shoulder. Lovely soft leather, and again, just that gilet will work and work and work through the season for you.
Get so much wear out of it. Now, this is gorgeous.
Different
I really
colour
like
palette
this.
here. Exactly. So we're going from the brights. There's an awful lot of colour this autumn winter. So we're starting off again. This is the coatigan, another key element. Sometimes we go more to the knit on a coatigan, but again, this is a lovely fuzzy felton knit. Starting with the earrings from Bonnie and Pearl, bonniepearl.com. Again, as I said, I always love to add a bit of bling to daytime looks. And they package things beautifully. So if you're looking for gifts, have a look at them. And then down through into the main look here, the coatigan, which again is from Lush Boutique in Carlingford, or lushboutique.ie.
Elaine, are you getting that bit of a Pablo Picasso feel off that jacket, or is it just me?
I wasn't gonna say it, but it is. It's like it's very bold and bright. Not your usual autumnal colours.
No, it's not. And it's just elevating your key autumnal colours into something. And because this is also a cocoon shape, it's a very, very forgiving fit. And it has pockets and that lovely lapel. And underneath then was the polo neck, just had the little bit of detail, and down to these amazing trousers. So this coatigan comes in 4 different colourways, so you can check it out on Lush. The trousers, again, are a lovely soft, elasticated waist, and again come in navy as well, and down to love this boot for autumn, because you're getting a little bit of leg still at this time of year, and as the winter comes in, put your tights on with them. But it just, and they're really flattering. They're from Diamoda again, as is the bag. And then the bracelet as well there is also from Bonnie and Pearl. So just keeping it all really simple, really elegant, but all key pieces and great layering for the season.
Absolutely lovely. You know, it's nice to have the cosy kind of look, because I
It
know
is.
we're having beautiful sunshine out, but we're going to need it.
We're going to need it, and by mid next week we'll be, especially, you know, school run time, you need things like that. So
now,
this
Kasia, that would be a Kasia trouser if ever I saw one. Ever I saw one.
He knows I'm mad for the leather look.
And they are, and these are great. They're drawstring waist, so super comfy. But the whole look is from Blush Boutique, blushclothing.ie, and starting again there with the lovely bling. So we're kind of taking inspiration in this look from, it's kind of a mixture of Chanel and Dior for the season ahead. Jewellery all there again from Bonnie and Pearl, and then coming down to the jacket. So this look layering-wise is all about the waistcoat underneath, but the jacket, it's a short bomber in a Chanel-style tweed, and then underneath, for the layering purpose of the season, the waistcoat is massive.
It's a feeling of Riff at Oz back about
it. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really classical, old school fashion.
It really is.
But
those
also
structures and those boxy shapes are really back in.
Exactly. And the trousers again there are pleather, and instead of a fitted pleather, these are a lovely wide leg. Again, very, very on trend from Blush Boutique. And finishing off the look then with the bag and shoes. They're from Diamoda Shoes in Choom again, or Diamoda.ie. And just to say, because the waistcoat is such an amazing part of layering this season, it's so on trend, as you go through into the autumn, put a t-shirt under it, then transition to a polo neck, put a shirt under it, and it will work and work, and you will get so many outfits out of this.
I love
and
waistcoats.
that bag as well is so classical looking, very designer inspired, and altogether I think this is your really high-end designer look for the season.
That is fabulous. I really love that. Those trousers, I know sometimes I'm a bit sceptical about wearing wide leg, but I don't think so. They look quite
No, once the cut is good on them.
With something like loafers, you know?
Exactly.
But
exactly.
hit it right, nail on the head. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Thank you so much for joining
You're
us,
welcome.
Barbara.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Enjoy the sunshine, and we can wrap up on our knits afterwards.
Now, for you lot enjoying the sunshine, currently, here's what's coming up tomorrow. We have Ireland taking on Romania in their opening match of the Rugby World Cup. We'll be crossing live to Bordeaux for that build-up.
I won't be at Bordeaux, but I will be somewhere else here at base. We're kicking off our Rugby Cup World Cup campaign with a barbecue outside, while former Ireland international, my old buddy Shane Byrne, he'll be rating our chances.
And you'll know him from Death in Paradise and Johnny English. Actor Ben Miller will be telling us why he's constantly being mistaken for Rob Brydon and Paddington Bear.
All that plus the news, sport and weather as you wake up. We're back tomorrow from 9.
Enjoy the sunshine. Put on your sunscreen. Take care. Bye. Oh, I'm going to bed.